Hey, Wu. Yeah, I saw you here. Let's wait for a couple more minutes. So normally, like people are joining like gradually. Hey, Donna, your cough getting better or pretty much
Yeah,
same?
I'm getting better. I'm getting better. This week's been better than last week.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I don't know if the Nokia guys will join me. It'll be interesting to see that why they get to that 256 ECMP pass.
SRD, myself and Shrikant are on the call.
Oh, that's great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, I think we can start it. I think like the first part is like we already and I think like I say the first we get some couple of new guys join to the group. There are some people from the Action and Wu Hui, and she's the lead for that team, and they're followed by three like senior software engineers. So they will try join this one, and I would let them to introducing themselves. So then probably like Donna, I want to take their hand also like to and yours to improving the basically the BGP convergence. That's yeah. Wu Hui, you want to introducing your team?
Okay. Hello everyone. I will show my PPT. Wait a moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's an honor to join SONiC routing group. I'm software leader from Acton Technology of Corporation. I'm based in Wuhan, China. China mainland branch. We plan to join 3 software engineers to SONiC routing group. I will invite our 3 engineers to introduce themselves later. First of all, please allow me to briefly introduce Acton Technology Corporation for you. Thank you. Okay, let's get up. The icon on the right, sorry. The icon on the right is our company's logo. Acton's logo symbolizes the passion and the talent of our staff and the partner, working together as a collaborative power of maximum abundance. Okay, in the first chapter, I will briefly introduce our Acton company. Here is a statistic chart of our company's revenue and the number of employees. In 2021, our revenue is USD 2,129 million, and in 2022, our revenue is approach USD 2,081 million. An increase of 22% year to year. In 2022, we have over 5,000 employees. Okay, here are several groups of our company. After after 35 years of network product design and development experience, Acton has a highly qualified global workforce that produce leading edge products that are affordable and reliable. Among them, Edgecore Network is a wholly owned subsidiary of Acton. Edgecore followed the OCP community to promote the white box switch ecosystem and release multiple white box devices. I believe some of you are very familiar with Edgecore. And the Joytech is a manufacturer and the product company of Acton Corporation in Shenzhen, China. And by the way, we also do some charity work. And from here, we can say that our services are spread all over the world. We have multiple research and development centers in Taiwan and mainland China. Additionally, there are technology support center teams, RMA centers, warehouse, and more in North America and Asia. So our revision is to create advanced networking equipment that enable digital transform and democratize ICT access throughout the world. Our mission is to inspire and build long-term partnership to provide advanced network infrastructure that support higher scale data center, AI, and edge computing. Okay, this part is introduce Acton's service. We can say Acton has broadest collectively solution in network infrastructure. We have wireless network appliance solution for the collective campus in campus network, and we have network appliance. For example, SD-WAN, edge router, edge server, AI training, inference in edge computing. We also have rich feature, high value, best price performance platform in enterprise and small buy. We also have innovation carrier access platform and disaggregate open solution in telecommunications. We also have high performance and high port density and standard OCP compliant platforms like Broadcom, Tomahawk, Trident series production. And we also have Jericho and Ramon in disaggregate chassis hardware platform. So here we can say that our technology is very extensive. Like wireless switch, optical transceiver, FPGA, next generation HPC data center, etc. Besides, we also have advanced design and process, like layout design, mechanical design, thermal design, and strong signal integrated test and validation technology. We have two manufacturer factory. They are located in two places, Taiwan and China, Shenzhen. In Taiwan, there are 30 high-speed SMT and 80 backend NICE, and in Shenzhen, there are 16 high-speed SMT and 22 backend NICE, and our manpower and factory area are quite well. About innovation and market expansion, we have excellent performance in emerging markets. The right picture shows our director attend the groundbreaking ceremony of Zhubei AI Park in Taiwan. And we obtained the Emerging Market Contribution Award from the Ministry of Economic Affairs. Our company also plan to conduct a factory expansion plan. We can say a new production line will be built in United States and Zhubei, Taiwan. Our company have corresponding certifications in quality, security, and sustainability, like ISO, CDP, AEO, and TL, exactly. Now, making partnership work, we can say, okay, we understand that partnership are crucial to achieve long-term successful. That's why we strive to foster strong relationship with our customer and the partner. We can say we have obtained some recognition from the Ministry of Economic Affairs. Also, we have obtained long-term recognition from our partner. The picture shows the RBA Partner Award from Cisco America and the Habala Partner from Habala. Habala is an Intel company, and Aruba Top Supply Award from HPE Supply Summit. We also received very positive quotes from customers. Recognition from Intel Habala for our strong supply capabilities as a supplier, and recognition from our partner from Fujitsu and Amazon. Okay, I just showed the company's status now. Maybe we have the opportunity to introduce something others to you later, such as our company's product, like data center switch, P4 programmable server switch, high performance servers, and also our customers' use case scenario. From the previous introduced, we can say we are a very excellent hardware equipment manufacturer. We also hope to make some achievement in open source software project, which is our goal to here. We hope to participate in development of the open source community. Now, please, I will invite our engineers to introduce themselves. Yuxi? Okay.
Hi everyone. My name is Cao Yongxin, and I'm glad to be part of this working group. I come from Acton and have been working in software development for over 10 years. Recently, for the past 2 years, I have been working on the SONiC development for switch devices. And I'm very interested in the implementation of the FR routing protocol and the Linux kernel. I'm really excited to work with all of you, and I will appreciate your support and guidance as we work together. Thank you.
Okay, Kevin.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin. I have been working as a software engineer for over 12 years. Currently, I'm in Ecom and joining a SONiC project with Yongxin and the Tiger and Wu Huai. So for SONiC, we have 2 years experience for application development. Well, nice to meet everyone. Thank you.
Tiger.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Tiger Bu, and I'm a senior software engineer at Ayrton, Taiwan. I have a SONiC development experience 1 year. I'm honored to join this working group. It's good to be here. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Back to you, Eddie.
Yeah, thank you. So I will hope we can working together and to get the convergence part done. Yeah, that's good. Then the second part, I think like last week, Gongjian from Alibaba talked about like we see the recursive routing and we see that 256 NS hops. And the interesting part is the Nokia folks also see the crash in the recent 2205. Then Hassan did some debugging and found they also hit on the 256 NS hop usage. So I would like to let them to introduce their use case and give some hint to say that, hey, we may need to do something and then more in that area. So I would say that Nokia, I think Satish or you want the guys to give us an introduction to see what the use case you or Microsoft was. Yeah.
So I can do that. Hi, I'm Shrikant. I work for Nokia, and my colleague Sakti, she's also on the call. There may be a couple of Microsoft folks on the call as well. I'm not quite sure. So the use case is a tier 2 chassis running SONiC. For those unfamiliar with how tier 2 chassis architecture is with SONiC, it's a system with multiple switching ASICs connected via a switch fabric. And each of the ASICs has its own associated complete SONiC stack with it, which means FRR is per ASIC. And there is a full mesh of BGP, IBGP connections between the different FRR instances associated with each ASIC. And externally, over the front panel ports, each ASIC has its own eBGP peer. All right, that's the basic design. And the scenario is that we have, say, potentially the same route being learned from more than one eBGP peer. And that is advertised back via IBGP to the other ASICs. And the intent of how the route is supposed to be here is that from an installation in the forwarding plane, both eBGP and IBGP next hop choices are learned via IBGP or eBGP should be considered equally as equal cost for the purpose of installation in the data plane, right? I'm not very familiar with how FRR works internally or how it handles different things beyond being a user of FRR. So as we started running, I mean, we've been running this test for a while, but recently we noticed that as we do some reboot tests and other things, that we occasionally run into a crash in FRR. So that's the introduction. in the specific configuration where we ran into this crash, we had, for at least one of the routes, we had 26 eBGP peers that were sending the route into the system. And these 26 eBGP peers were split 13 each into 2 different ASICs or 2 different FRR instances, which then internally communicated those routes. Right, so I'll pause here and take any questions of what, or anything. And I believe we uploaded all of the information requested into the issue that was raised.
So you're saying like the routes during the crash from the core, you see this is basically not the recursive routes, it's just regular routes over the eBGP.
So I believe there is, it's a regular route sent via eBGP. At the point where the route is received by the system, no recursion has happened. And that route is sent via iBGP to the other ASIC peers. I believe that part is a recursive route where there is one iBGP in between, right? So we install those as if they were pointing to the original eBGP peer where they came from. So there is, for some of the next stops internally, you could say there is one level of recursion, if that's the right term to use.
Because then I also see you have the VXLAN, like a MAC VLAN. Do you have the VXLAN routes also becoming here?
There is no VXLAN in this configuration, at least.
Because I see that you have a Zebra VXLAN, MAC VLAN up, those events showing up. In your, if
it is, it's not intentional. I don't know if the default configuration that FRR is instantiated has something in there. But there is no intent to deploy any VXLAN. I don't know if it's happening as part of a default that's inherited into our FRR config.
Because I feel, I try to understand, and it's how you get 256 passes. So that's something. But the moment you get 256, then looks like you hit on the boundary. So, right. So then, because previously in Alibaba, we also see in our case we have 16 over 16. So we have 16 recursive routes, and each is the 16 paths. That's why we get to the 16. So we have the duplication remover, which because anyway, I only have outgoing port is 16. So that's why we using this as a workaround to avoiding to reaching that many net hops. So
yes,
for your case,
so
how you get to
while
that
this problem, while this problem is reproducible, like I have to point out that it doesn't happen every single time, right? So I don't know if there is something about how it comes up that temporarily crosses that threshold. Not knowing with the code base itself, I can't answer that definitively.
Hi, this is Arvind from Microsoft. So I had a question. So in our configuration, we set the max path for both eBGP and iBGP to 64. So wouldn't that prevent like the number of paths to be restricted to 64?
The 64 is basically say for each of the ECMP, like say level, but say for example, but it was the moment you go to recursive, then the Zebra clapping them, because the Linux itself doesn't have the recursive concept. So you see that in Ali case, we intentionally also 16 paths, but that recursive over another 16 paths, then they clapping them to be the 256.
I see. So in this case, like as Srikanth said, like we have one iBGP between each ASIC, so there is just one recursion. If it helps, maybe I.
Yeah. So So that's why I was expecting you may get that recursive from the EBGP side because you have 26 external paths. I see that you are like say default route over the 26 passes. So anything is the recursive on that side, it's more easily to get clapping and get a high route next hops.
Right. So for the EBGP, there is no recursion. If can I quickly share my screen?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Is my screen visible?
I see it's coming up right now. Yeah, now I can see it.
Yeah, so this is the basic design we have, right? So this is a chassis where we have 3 ASICs and we have IBGP between them, and then we have a bunch of external routes, right? So so basically for IBGP we leave the next hop unchanged, which means that this next hop will be resolved through this interface, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only recursion we have. So I don't see like we'll have like 16 times 16 kind of recursion.
Oh.
Right. So we did attach the route table from FRR to the issue. I can share it. I don't know if that clarifies anything for you guys. I mean, of course, this is what we see in a normal, in a scenario where when it did not crash, so that we could do this, right? So when things are all working, it's like this. I don't know if there is something temporarily that just causes this to go way beyond, but I mean, so there is some recursion here, as you can see. So in this particular FRR instance, 13 of them are direct, the other 13 are recursive. But if you go to a different instance, which doesn't have any uplink ports, all of the 26 would be.
For example, like for the recursive one, like a 27, 10.0037, how many paths you will have? You only have one, right?
That's correct.
Then you won't expanding that much.
Yeah.
So that's so that's why I a little bit confused, like how you get that 256, because I know Hassan in the core file do see that you have the 256 next hop, but then the question is how you getting there. Because if you only recursive for the IBGP, pretty much you only have one pass, then it's not a big deal. So that's why I was initially thinking you get, say, for example, like you get a recursive routes from the EBGP side, but if you say you don't have it, then it also, because anything you get from there, you could time 26. So you don't have any traffic generator there, right? So to compute the routes.
No, this is all the SONiC standard test topology deployment.
The other one is probably like looking the core file again. I see if you can find out from the core file. I don't see the Hassan here. Otherwise, I would say probably like getting the prefix. Then let's then look at the good stable state to see what the prefix looks like.
Hey, Eddie, yes, I'm here.
Yeah, Hassan.
Yeah, but if you're looking for the live debugging, I may have lost the environment right now.
No, what I mean is that when you're looking on the core file, because in the core, do you see the prefix associated with that? Because normally, like this is generate, because this is Zebra code, they normally have the route add, right? So in the frame above, you may be able to get the prefix which trigger that event.
Yeah, certainly. I think
Then
I have to.
Yeah, then we can see which prefix, and then from prefix we can see on the stable state how many paths they have.
Correct. We have to pull that up. Actually, Yeah, I don't have it ready right now, but yeah, I can
Yeah, that's
actually.
fine. We
for
can
the
probably
email.
debug it offline on that.
Yeah,
I see.
exactly.
Yeah, I think this is the one. My personal feeling is like it's kind of similar as the issue which Alibaba hit because of recursive expanding. That's my gut feeling, because otherwise I don't see you have why anyone using the non-flapping 256 path, and you only have physical port only 26. So it's very hard to thinking that it's really come the regular ECMP. It must be the recursive over. So if that's the case, you probably can try Gongjian's the fix at least as a workaround to avoiding basically removing the duplicate path, then reducing the size. At least we can avoiding this crash. So that's
So I believe they've tried it. There is quite a bit of a code change since the original, because SONiC is on a relatively older version.
Shrikant, hold on. No, this PR I think is shared by AD today, so we are trying it today right now. So hopefully tomorrow morning I will have a results ID.
It's just 1 or 2 lines.
One line, yeah, two line, yes.
2 lines, 4 line change. It's a very small
That
change.
was very straightforward. Yes, yeah. We are trying right now.
Yeah, that probably can help you to avoiding the duplicate if that's the recursive case.
Okay, yeah. Once I have the results, I'll send a reply to the team. I'll see.
That's good. Yeah. So yeah. So then that will be generally the third topic. Because the last time, like I say, Kentaro, like I say, introducing the NetHop group. Which is the interesting idea. So then that's why I would say like the good time is very good timing. Like Acton, the 3 guys are helping to join in also. So then I could put for some people. So then we can work in. So that's why I would say like Donna, like do you want to like give some suggestion, like say how we can attacking these problems? Basically, like I say, how we can basically see what you want to give some guideline to see that, to say, from the BGP point of view, then how we can leveraging to making, like I say, the NetHop group like event, and basically the BGP IGP convergence can be separated, those things. And also this recursive routes. That's why I was saying that, because it looks like if we stick on this global table, then we can probably like if we separate to be 2 levels, converging will be getting better.
Are there any logs in BGP that will tell the level of recursion that we've hit? Or
no, in your case, most likely this is 0 recursive.
So the first thing let's take a step back. We're guessing here.
Yes.
All right. So and guessing in this way is a surefire way to lead us down rabbit holes. Let's gather data about what is causing the crash. Okay, so we need to understand the state of the route and the next hops, and I want to see that before I make any type of suggestion.
Sure. No, I would say like for this crash, I agree with you. So it's just generally, like I say, we need to root cause it. I just give a suggestion this might be working because we see this something similar before, and if someone adding up to 56 and XHop, that's my gut feeling. But you're right. So we need to bottom up to see what exactly the root cause. But on the other side, I want to see that do we want to, because as we discussed before, like I say, Shanshan also gave the talk, like I say, last time we see the SRv6 if underly changing, which will making the BGP re-downloading. That's why I was thinking that we may need to systematically attacking these problems from the route conversion point of view. So as we go in for this group, we already start to attacking, like the one is like say, like you lead a couple of the interns doing the memory reduction, which is good. So then we also have people to working on the routes convergence. Hassan does that, and also we also do something. So then I was thinking that next probably will be convergence. If we have these 3, I feel this is more like the basic stuff for getting the routing to be in the some kind of shape. Mhm. Yeah.
Well,
that's why.
I'm not ready to
Mhm.
provide guidance on how to proceed yet, because I just haven't had enough time yet to speak with the people in the FRR community and see what their thoughts are.
Mhm.
We couldn't get together this week because everyone's at IETF.
Yeah.
So,
today,
so that's what it kind of boils down to. Everyone's kind of busy, right? So we're still trying to figure out a time. But having said that, I'm not ready to say how the problem should be solved yet, because I'm not sure that we fully understand, or maybe there is some simple way to make things just kind of magically work better.
Mhm.
I don't know yet. Okay. I just don't know.
Okay, sure. Then you want to like say how we want to proceed from here. One is like this. I think right now I see the two problems. One is last time Sean tried to give like say SRv6. If we have IGB link flapping, then we will give the trigger to the BGP downloading everything again. We can debugging further to understand what's the problem here, maybe then see, because that kind of like say how we can separate the IGP and with the BGP convergence. That's one part. The other one is, this is a good example, like say we button up this one and to see that for the general growth table, if we have recursive routes, how we should handle it. We probably can use this as two examples to moving. That's also fine for me. Yeah. So what do you take? You want to like say just general looking, or you want to say more specific to problem by problem? So because right now we already have two problems sitting here.
So so the first suggestion I think is, if you're interested in discussing the next talk group issue, join the FRR on Slack and put when you're available to meet in the development channel where people are talking about it. Okay. As that goes to everyone here, everyone's welcome to come and join the discussion, and however you want to participate. I think that in order for BGP to take over, like I think what you're really suggesting is you want BGP to take over its next groups and install everything from that perspective. So I don't have a problem with that. I think that, you know, one of the things that needs to be done is to make BGP understand next hop groups better. And one of the things I've outlined in the past is to have BGP sort the path infos so we can actually make intelligent decisions by just counting the best paths that are valid to use instead of what we're doing. So that's where I would start. The second thing I would do is break apart BGP. I said that poorly. I would move the act of installing routes in BGP to its own event system so that we can actually kind of delay a little bit and count the number of next hop groups we can have and stuff like that. So it will allow, because currently the way BGP works is it gets a route, processes it, sends it to Zebra. Then it goes to the next route, processes it, sends it to Zebra. And so there's a big list. But that kind of precludes the ability to keep track of your next hop groups in a more holistic fashion.
Yes. Okay.
So those are the things I would do. That's how I would start attacking the problem.
Yeah.
Are there any Zebra logs or anything that the group would be interested in looking at or might consider useful as we
debug Zebra rib detail? And I would start there, reproduce it with that.
Could you just repeat that or put a message in the chat so we can just kind of check that?
All right. that will give us data dump of the route flowing through the system, and I said through Zebra, with detailed information about next hops and the different routes being handled. That's how I would start.
All right, we'll give it a try.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Yeah. So and then like say what. So for the next hop stuff, you want me to present in FR in the early September? You guys have like say you want to present it there, or you want to present it earlier?
So September's goal is it's an opportunity for companies. I shouldn't say companies. I'm sorry. It's an opportunity for interested parties to get together and tell the rest of the community what they are working on. And we may have it provides ability for the other interested parties to go, oh, I'm working on that too. Let's go together and talk. Because sometimes we have solutions that come from a silo and that people aren't necessarily thinking about someone else's very similar but slightly different use case, where if a little bit of extra time or if they'd worked together, we would have come up with a bit of a different solution that solves both problems. So that's why that's what the early September is. So I'm interested in having anyone here again is welcome to come and talk about, or even listen about what the FR community, what is going on in the FR community.
Gotcha.
So that's a different, it's a different goal from just the next hops, right? I mean, the next hops are interesting. I don't necessarily think the FR technical meeting right now is the right place, because I think we need to get the actual next hop group interested parties together and we can talk about it. I actually think the problem is actually fairly well known and understood. I mean, I've known about the weirdness of FR and the next hop groups and the recursive next hops for a while, but I just never considered it a problem because I've never seen an operator work with that large of an ECMP scale, especially with recursive routes.
Okay.
So it's never become a real problem.
So you want me to like say, for example, like I can come to, but I see like your weekly meetings pretty much like say discuss the issue and the PR. So what
and also technical issues too sometimes. But I think we decided, the group decided that they wanted to do the next hops in its own special meeting because it's big enough.
Yeah. Okay, I can probably like propose this in the Slack to see that whoever.
Perfect.
Then probably like start from there. Oh, yeah. So let me put some. I put these two use cases. Maybe I wait for the Microsoft this debug to be finished to understand what's the the issue on that. Then I add that. So it'll be 3 use cases. One the SRv6, that one for BGP on IGP, like it's a convergence. The other one is like the Alibaba's recursive, which is the clapping, and also let's see what the Microsoft one was turned out. Then I present this as a use case to the group and generate some discussion to see how we can enhance it in these areas.
Awesome.
Okay. Good. That's pretty much I have. I don't know. How about other folks? Like Hassan, you have any comments? I think welcome back. You have a good vacation.
Hey, thanks, Eddie. Thank you so much. So yeah, I mean, regarding the crash, if somebody is interested, the steps are pretty straightforward. Create a SONiC VS image with the 2022-05. Basically, create a SONiC VS container with the 2022-05 image, and Sakti, I think he has already uploaded those debug packages, FRR. Just go to the FRR Docker to install those, and then we are ready to go to debug the core file. And so this is what I did. I mean, if somebody's interested, I can actually show here that what is the core file here. So yeah, in fact, there are like 256, as we were saying. Let me start from the top. Yeah, so number of next hops. Yeah, this is 256. And if I look at the, go into the prefix, for example, the prefix is 192.170.240.0/25. And this is certainly recursive. And if I look at some of the initial next hops, I see that all of those are resolving to the same gateway. So let me here. So this is what?
Hassan, can you say that the prefix again? Sorry. 192 dot.
Let me dump it here. So
Okay.
prefix. Here we go, the /x here. So this is 25. Prefix length is 25. And if you try to decode this, this is C0AA F000. So C0 is like 170, AA is, sorry, 192, 170.240.0/25. This is the prefix. And as you can see, all of these next hops are recursively resolved. And if we want to go into each of these next hops and see what is all there, you can see that it is pointing to the same IF index. So for example, the first one, second one, third one, they all having the same IF index. You want to see the gateway is also the same actually. So gateway, which is 333.16 actually. Same. So what I can see is that there are duplicates going on, and that is what is filling in this the number of next hops. That's why there are so many next hops like this. Ideally, if we try to remove the duplicates, I think they may be a handful of those, maybe 60, 70 or more than that.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
This from this one, I feel like it's a the fix that the 2 lines to remove the duplicate will solve this at least as a workaround, because then we will not have that many next hop. Can you go
Correct.
back to the previously one you do the dump to see that all the routes, not this page, the other page you showed, like say for the routing table?
So that was one prefix that I was dumping. This is what you're referring to, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
for the
no.
This one you dump. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I see. So this is a recursive, but then, okay, you see that they have a lot of recursive over, right? You see that over the 10.143, 141, 192, then everybody is 1. So I'm really interested in how many recursive eventually they provided. Because the outgoing eventually recursive interface only one, always be IB0. Or they do have IB1 also.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So then this time too, but I still cannot explain why it's. Yeah, I'll take a look at this example also.
Yeah, so I think what is happening here is if I just 77141 minus say 7244. So it's like 100 next hops, and each of them, if they are resolving to like 2, let me see if they can. So yeah, actually it can. So for example, look at this. This is actually pointing to 2. So then you're doubling it. If there are a few more, then actually you can go to 256.
Okay. So basically expected.
Correct. Yeah, that's all I had.
But I thought that like Arvin said that like the Microsoft capped it to 64, right?
Yeah, so yeah, I still do not have the tech support which collects the configuration. I think Sakti just uploaded the screen dump, not the tech
Yes,
support.
the tech support, like I tried, and the issue, I think I can upload only 25 MB max, and the tech support was a very huge file. I unzipped, and also like it has a many folders. So which one you are interested? Maybe I can just upload that part.
Actually, it collects so many files. So if you're worried that
Yes.
the tech support file can increase, you can use the since option. Since, and then you specify a date, like maybe a couple of hours ago.
Okay. When I dump the tech support, right? Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try that.
So Hassan, are you interested in like the FRR configuration?
Yeah, exactly. So this will answer Eddie's concern, right? That you're saying that the max path is 64, but then we see like 100 paths here. Yeah.
I just pasted the link. So this is the template file which gets rendered into the FRR configuration. So there max BGP is set to 64, the default, and max IBGP is set to 64.
Yeah, but still the tech support will certainly help, because it not only collects the configuration, but also collects the logs which are going on in the system. So one can identify that exactly at what point what happened, instead of actually giving the discrete information, like the screen dump or specific files. Yeah, maybe we can follow up.
Good. Thanks, Hassan. That's a good information. Very awesome debug to get the core information.
Thank you.
So once let's get more finalizing, I think like maybe like Satya, so and Arvin, you guys can give us a final report to see if one is Gongjian fix it really works. The second one probably like once we get tech support information, we can see that how you get to the 256. So this is the, but at least looks like it's also another recursive case. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Heidi.
Okay,
So
anything else?
one thing that concerns me about the BGP prefix there and the routes was it was the same next hop recursing through itself multiple times. So I think that needs to be actually pursued by someone.
Mm-hmm.
So that needs to be looked at. I don't necessarily think that this is I don't know where the problem is now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's that. If you, Hassan, can you pull up the show IP route again?
Yep. Yep.
So go back to where you were. You moved the screen. It was. There we go. All right, so we have via 3316 through 3316 through 3316 through 3316. with IB0 being on 3316.1 and IB1 3316. So how do we have a next top that is both on the actual guy I'm going to is on the same IP address is going to this two different interfaces? Something's wrong there.
You mean like say why both of them why the 33316?
Now it just something's gone. Something is Zebra or BGP or I'm not sure where, but we are confused, and I don't know why we're confused.
So could you repeat that if you don't mind?
So take the 10.0.0.108.31 route. It's via 33317 Ethernet IB0 via 33317 recursive via 33317 recursive
Right.
via
Yeah.
3317 E Ethernet IB1.
So your question is why are you saying it both on IB0 and IB1?
And why are we seeing a via to
Yes.
itself? That's wrong. It's broken.
Okay.
How we got there, I don't know. Or what's going on, I don't know. But that's part of the problem right there.
Agree.
And it's nothing to do ignoring the crash in the forward and plane manager. I think that's just, that's the long after the symptom. That's the blood gushing, but not the knife wound. So that's where I would be focusing my time, but I don't understand how we got there. So debug rib detail, debug Zebra, next stops or next stop tracking. And then we can someone can start.
16 and 17 are all IBGP peers internally, right? I don't know. So there is IBGP peering happening on IB0. The 3.3.3 it
Is
acts as all
on active actually the next stop you go to on Ethernet IB0? That doesn't make any sense to me.
So
and
all
IB1.
So each ASIC has an interface on IB0 or IB1. Basically, if the line card has two ASICs, one of them is IB0, the other is IB1. The IP address used for IBGP peering is the 3.3.3.x address, right? So each ASIC has one address in that.
And it's visible on both interfaces?
So this command was not issued from VTYSH or Zebra. It was issued from the SONiC CLI, which I believe is taking the output of both ASICs and showing it there. So does that, because if you did this command from VTYSH, you would only.
Yeah, I assume this was from VTYSH.
And I
Yeah,
don't think so. This is from SONiC.
It gets it from.
No, actually, this was from a SONiC CLI, but I can dump it from a VTOSH and attach it.
I mean, the lines 111 through 115, that's FRR output. Guarantee you that, because
Yes. So
Correct.
this
Correct.
data this data is coming from FRR, but I think SONiC CLI does some manipulation of the data before we dump it.
It probably goes to both instances of FRR on the line card and gets it here.
Right. So if you have two BGP,
I would like to comment on this actually, Arvind. So the manipulation that the show Python script does is that it just tries to convert whatever user inputs are, like IP route, into the FRR. So the data that is dumped by the FRR, that is not manipulated. So the data that you're seeing exactly out from the VTOSH.
Correct, Hassan. But so on a device which has more than one ASIC, right? When we do show IP route, so there are if the device has two ASICs, there are two BGP instances running, right? So which means we get the route from both the BGP instances and aggregate it and send it. And we so for our purposes, we don't display some of the internal routes and then display this output here. So I would say this output may not be the accurate one. So we should get the data from VTYSH directly to get the output.
So one concern I have is why is the next stop showing as 3.3.3.x? Because eventually it's supposed to resolve to it is supposed to resolve to a EBGP next stop, which is not in the 333 space.
Correct. So Srikanth, in this case, so this is a /32. So I assume this might be a loop.
Okay. Okay, I get that. Okay. Right. So, but if you go to the 192.
And the /31s might be interface
IPs. Okay, so I get. All right. So we need to look at the /25s and okay. Okay. All right. So this is potentially a loopback IP address within the ASIC.
So 33316 or 17, that's because this is IBGP, right? This is your IBGP loopback peering address, right?
It's not a loopback interface, it's directly on the IB0 interface, and that's what is used for peering.
Okay.
I would actually say then if the output's being munged a little bit, you might be able to clean that up.
I think there might have been another output for at least one of the routes attached to the issue from the VTYSH. But we can get the entire route table output from VTYSH.
Yeah, because the reason why it's confusing because the way you've ordered the next hops and the way VTY shell, it's always the one that goes recursed and then the actual resolution, and you've got the two recursive, like you've sorted the list, right? And that's just confusing.
So yeah, I think the fact that there are two ASICs on the line card and one of them is IB0, IB1, that's what you're seeing here. It's kind of
yeah, but sort of the next hop lies about the actual order and how things are.
Yeah.
So I would think about fixing that, because you look at that and you can't tell which one's from what or how it's thought about.
Correct. So we already have a work item to enhance this show IP route for a chassis, because normally in SONiC there is not a lot of use case with recursive next stops and so on. So this is not handled correctly in the Python script. So yeah, we will clean it up. So eventually our idea is that we will not display the recursive, will directly display the next hop, so that people don't get confused. Yes.
Good. Okay, anything else? We are almost like 3 minutes up past. Then we probably, like I say, use the email to exchanging to for these crash issues. And let's continue bottom up on that. Okay. Good. So probably then we can end up for today's and here. And thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.